Dan, thanks for joining us. Firstly, Merry Christmas. I hope you had a good one. Our Boxing Day game against Barnet was postponed, obviously because of their waterlogged pitch. So we're back here at Meadow Park today, and a frustrating 2-2 draw.
Yeah, it's frustrating because obviously we dominated the game for 90 minutes and we conceded at the back end of the first half to a set piece and again second half. So in injury time, and when you're dominating a game and you've picked up one or two injuries like we'd had earlier, in the week, etc. It's a bit of a kick in the teeth, but I'm sure the supporters are pleased. We're 9 games unbeaten. We're on the fringes, so I suppose we've got to be happy. But like always, maybe we could have done a bit better.
We finished 2019 in 8th spot. If I'd have offered you that at the beginning of the season, would you have taken it?
Offer it me now, I'd probably take it. I think we're an underdog club, and I think when we went to Wembley, people perhaps the season after forgot that we finished last season 5th bottom. So of the teams that were left in the National till they reprieved Aldershot, we were the worst side in it. We've worked ever so hard over the summer. We've got a limited budget, but we make it work for us. We've got good players here. We haven't got a lot of them, so it does make things slightly difficult. You look at the programme for the New Year's Day game against Barnet, and then you look at the 2 squads. There's no comparison, and that sort of tells you a lot of the time when we're playing clubs the difference in the budgets. It's not so much the quality, but we run with 15, 16, 17 players, and maybe 2 or 3 of them are loans, where the pro clubs are helping us out. Some of these clubs are running, with upwards of 22, 24, 26 players, and we can't get anywhere near that. So I think, in the 91st minute today, I think we were sitting in 5th or 6th. 9 games unbeaten, finishing the year in 8th place, finished last season 5th bottom. No, I can't be anything but delighted with my young manager, my young chief executive, the staff at the club, and they're working ever so hard. So no, I'm very pleased.
We start 2020 with a game against our nearest rivals, Barnet. What way to start?
Yeah. Obviously they're not at Underhill now, they're at the Hive. That was called off Boxing Day. The weather was foul, so for whatever the reasons, it probably done both sets of players a world of good, because it would have been very heavy over there. The ball just wasn't bouncing. So to bring them here, we'll have a good crowd here. They'll bring a few, as always. They're the big club. They're one of the clubs I always looked up to. It was one of the clubs I never thought we'd catch. When I took over, we were trying to catch the St Albanses and the Bishop Stortfords, and then beyond that was Barnet and Stevenage. So to be playing Barnet as an equal, as an equal club in a division, they know they're coming here. It's a local derby, and as I say, we're a good side, but they're a good side as well. So you can expect a good game. It's a great pitch, and may the best team win.
And looking back to 2019, what would you say were your highs and lows of that year?
Highs. We didn't have a lot. Beating Leyton Orient here was a high. We played ever so well that day, and Femi went and got his one and only goal. So that was possibly a high. Winning the Hart Senior Cup was a high. Winning the National Cup with the youth team, becoming national champions again was a high. England College Internationals was a high. But it was a frustrating season, a difficult season.
you know,
People talk about pressure. I mean, at the moment, what are we, eighth tonight?
8th in the league,
Eighth,
yes.
yeah. So there's no pressure where we're sitting. My boys can go out there, my manager can go out there and have a free hit. When you're 5th bottom, when you're looking down and you're seeing Wrexham's and Chesterfields and all that where they are, I know what it's like to be relegated after 21 seasons here. You know, we've had a few relegation battles and you can't breathe. So I looked down there and that was the real downside for me last year. After Christmas, we didn't get our recruitment right. We didn't do what we needed to do, and myself and Luke were very aware of that. And again, you know, we tweak things with the backroom staff, and you know, we sit down a lot, and you know, we try and work smart, not stupid. And Charlie came in as a chief exec. And again, over the summer, in May and June and July, you know, I feel we got our recruitment right. So that's probably the biggest positive. You know, when I look at, you know, Kane Smith, he's back from injury. When I look at Sauber Thomas and, you know, the progress he's made. Young Cabby, you know, he's improving all the time. He's learning his craft. Tyrone Marsh has been a great addition. And obviously Justin Shabu. So I'm really talking about some of the younger players. But some of the old stalwarts, Skipper Mark Ricketts, Barnet will well know Dave Stevens. He was there for, you know, a fair few seasons. But yeah, the highs and lows that's probably it really. The Art Senior Cup win over St Albans, always nice to put one over them. But that's probably it. We didn't hit the heights in the FA Cup. We didn't hit the heights in the FA Trophy last season or this season. So that's probably it.
Now looking ahead to 2020, what are your aspirations for the remainder of this season, obviously beyond?
Well, I suppose the aspirations for this season, you go into it, as any chairman of an underdog club would tell you, you go into it and your first job is to make sure everybody knows their job. You know, from the tea lady to the boardroom to the bar to whatever it is, the groundsman. But we're all pulling in one direction. It's very important, you know, through the tough times, you stay united and together. And after last year, you know, that was tough. And when you look this year, after 9 games, we had 8 points. And you could just feel everyone getting a little bit edgy. Everyone's just starting to just turn on not each other, but just there was that edginess, and you know, here we go again. And that's when you got to be a good chairman. You just got to steer everybody and make sure the manager doesn't go into himself, you know, and understands, you know, there's belief, and we've got structures in place, and all the things we've worked at here for 21 years, all our processes and procedures, you know, they hold you in good stead as you're going forward. And then, of course, you know, I can then look and say, you know, we've built a new North Stand. You know, we created a new changing room block. You know, our recruitment again for our academy has been exceptional. And then you look at all the building blocks, and as you say, we're now sitting there 8th tonight. So we're going into the new year, 9 games unbeaten. We beat some good sides along the way there, and as I say, you know, Barnet come here, first game of the new year. You know, they're the big club. You know, they're the big club. We're an underdog club. And that's not cliche. It's just what the crowds tell you. It's what history tells you. It's, you know, this is a club that's, you know, been to the Football League. This is the clubs that have played the Man Uniteds. You know, this is you know, it's only 10 years ago we were playing Great Wakering Rovers and Potters Bar. So you do look at it, you know, like that. And but yeah. So anyway, our aspirations are, let's have a go. We're in and around the playoffs. We were 8 points out of 9 games. I think we're after the last 10 games. I think we're in the top 6 form-wise. I think last 14 games we took 25 points. So that all tells you, you know, we shouldn't fall away as long as we don't pick up the injuries, you know, and the silly suspensions and everything else. And you know, between Charlie and Luke, that, you know, myself, maybe we need a couple of additions just to give us a little bit of strength, and we'll do our best to create a budget for Luke and Charlie to maybe bring 1 or 2 in.
You touched on it just in your last response, the North Bank that you built in the summer. What impact do you think that's had this year?
I don't know really. Not as big an impact possibly as I'd hoped. The crowds haven't exactly come flocking to Meadow Park, but it doesn't matter. It's another building block in place. Rome wasn't built in a day. And again, if you look, each time we improve the stadium or the facilities or the training facilities, bit by bit. But it's nice, if it's raining on New Year's Day, my home supporters are in the dry, which is a bonus. And there's only a certain amount of seats that we can get the Barnet, sort of lads and families, etc. in. I suppose that's the biggest thing, is the home supporters have got a covered end, for the first time, since 1948. So that's probably the biggest thing.
And for myself, Dan, finally, as we all know, we're a small club with a small fan base, but a very loyal fan base. What message have you got for those supporters for the rest of this season?
As always, not really a message, just my thanks. It's been a tough time for us as a family, and they've been amazing. So, big thank you to them and the staff. We'll go into New Year. We know what we are. It's a great thing about this town. This is our town. People can knock it, they can say what they like about it, but it means a lot to us all. So, they've been amazing for me for 21 years, and so let's go into the new year. Let's give it everything we got. If we nick them playoffs, no one's going to want to play Little Old Bournemouth, are they? We showed that last time when we beat Fylde and we went to Sutton and knocked them out, and we all travelled up Wembley way. People wanted to knock that we only took 4,000 people up there. We've only got 35,000 people in our town. So percentage-wise, we took a lot of people. And as I say, sometimes it's we haven't got loads of supporters, but those who we have got, they don't turn on me. As I say, if we've got 8 points after 9 games, and they stay with us. There might not be loads who travel, but those who do, they're knowledgeable, they know the game, and they're good people. And so my message to everyone locally, whether it's the council, whether it's the sponsors, whether it's good partners like the college, Arsenal, and my supporters and the Wood Army, is just a huge thanks really, because every single one of us, we play a part in have taken us from, as I say, the Ryman North or the Southern Eastern Division, through the Ryman Leagues, through Conference South. We're now in the National League, and when you look and you see where Wrexham are sitting with 5,000 supporters, and you see where Chesterfield are, I mean, you can only be filled with pride really, as I say, when my dad was manager here in the 60s and 70s, I think you'd be amazed to see where we are now. So just health, wealth, happiness, but most of all to everyone, hopefully they can have a happy and healthy new year.
Fantastic, Dan. Thanks for talking to us today.
My pleasure.